Good evening and welcome to Rams Hockey. This is our first show of December. I got some great young men here with me tonight. I think you're going to enjoy the hour-long show that we're here tonight, and they're leaving tomorrow for an excursion down to Irvine, and then over to Anaheim, and they've got 3 games. But let's get on to introducing these young men. Far from me is Mr. Itay Bondar. I got the Bondar in there. You see that? Roll the R. That boy. And Mr. Sean Mcgurty. He's there. He doesn't know what's going on, but we'll clue him in as we go. And next to me, AJ Escalante.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we're all here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go one by one with you. Itay, you should be a veteran because you were here last year on the show. I probably don't remember.
Once with my dad.
Right, that's right. We had your dad. That was a great show. Talk to a little bit where you're from, what your hockey background's like, and why you're here at St. Mary's.
So I'm from Israel, from a city named Kiryat Shmona. It's about 10 minutes away from Lebanon, from the border. I started playing hockey when I was 6 years old, I think. I've played there for about 7, maybe 6 years. And then we had the idea of me going somewhere like America or Canada or anywhere that's basically not Israel to play hockey. So
And why is that?
I mean, hockey is not the biggest sport there, so we wanted me to play a higher level of hockey in a higher level of hockey. So we looked for we had a lot of options. I could have went to Ukraine, Russia. I don't think Canada was an option.
They don't play hockey in Canada, right?
No. And then since one of my coaches in Israel was also coaching the national Israeli team with Coach Derek, he gave us his basically Gmail, so we contacted him, and we got here as soon as possible because this was basically the cheapest option and the best option.
And it's not cheap, really.
It's not really cheap, but it was the best option.
So, this is your second year.
Yes.
How have you progressed from last year to this year? What do you feel that you've progressed? And
I feel like I am playing a lot better, but of course I can improve.
how are you adapting to the school now? Last year was brand new for everybody because that was our first year. I know there were some growing pains there with their academics. So how was that for you?
Last year I was barely able to pick up my grades. I actually never had below a 2.0, but it was not over a 3.0. It was never over a 3.0. But this year I'm doing a lot better. I just know when to turn stuff in. I understand what the teachers want from us. Mm-hmm. So it's going a lot better.
That's good. Now I'm going to go over to you, young man. Mr. Mcgurty. Talk to us a little bit about where you came from, where your hometown is, your hockey background, and what brought you to St. Mary's.
Okay, so I live in Fresno, California, and I started playing hockey there at 7 years old, and I played in Fresno for 2 years, and the level of hockey there wasn't very high, so I actually played in Bakersfield for a year after that, and then the next year after that I went back to Fresno for 2 years, and then the year before that, the year after that, I played in Stockton for the Stockton Colts. Colts. And last year we heard about St. Mary's, and we heard that it was its first year, and it was like and we kind of wanted to see like what it was gonna like turn out to be like, and see like the results of the last year's team before we like made a decision on it. But I like the coaches. I met Derek last year through the Colts program, and I really like Derek, and I think he's a really good coach and a really good guy overall. And also Coach Zach, he's also a very great coach, and so I decided to make the move to St. Mary's.
Yeah, and now, I don't know, kind of, you're probably in a public school and taken back in Fresno?
I was in a public school until 4th grade, and then 5th grade through 8th grade, I went to a private school, and then last year I was also at a public school.
How is the transition? Because, and I've talked about this on other shows with other players. Normal when I went to high school, which was back in the Stone Ages, but we had the same classes every day. First period was first period, third was third, and so on and so forth. But with the school the way it is, I understand this because of Anthony, that you go to like 1, 2, and 3 on Monday, and then 4, 5, and 6 on. I'm just using numbers. But
Yeah. It's the schedule's very weird. One of our periods moves around to a different time slot every day, so it's kind of hard to keep track of some days. And there's 2 lunches, so it's very different from the other schools that I've been at. But I think the biggest difference in from going from a public school to a private school is the dress code and having to wear uniforms, and that's the thing that I dislike the most about it.
You dislike it, but you don't have to think about what to wear. I mean, you don't have to be cool. I have to have, but everybody has the shoes, right? That's the thing. There.
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing that sets you apart from the next guy or next girl.
You gotta have a good shoe game.
All right, Mr. Escalante, it's your turn. Talk to us about the same things.
Okay, so I'm from San Carlos, which is on the peninsula.
Well, of course you are. That's a highfalutin kid, huh? Go ahead.
Okay, so I started off playing for the Cougars when they were back at Bridgepoint. And then once the rink shut down, I went to Black Stars for a few years. And then I think from my first year PE, I moved to GSC South, which is based out of the Valco Mall.
Okay.
So I played there for 2 years up until my bantam year, and then I played for Cougars one last time, and then I moved here. And I moved here because I've been wanting to play for Coach Derek for a long time. I just didn't have the means of getting to Stockton, and once we heard about St. Mary's opening up, we thought this was the perfect opportunity to come play for Coach.
Well, that's good. And we're happy to have all of you guys. Every year we get new people. Itay's we've been blessed with him for 2 years, and hopefully he'll be here for all 4. That's what we hope.
Hopefully.
And I got to get this brief commercial in, if you want to call it that, about our radio station, which is a good thing. You're listening to TVOSJ, the voice of San Joaquin Community Radio. You can find us on iTunes or in an app. We also, this is the great thing, we have just become an FM station out of Tracy at this point, and this next year coming we'll be here live in Stockton and also in Lodi. But for right now, we're doing our radio, and you also, if you're in the Tracy area, can listen to us on 89.5 FM KBCC, Tracy, California. We're a local nonprofit multimedia community broadcasting network. And so that's been a new thing, and it just tells you the leaps and bounds that this radio station is doing. We're getting out to more people. And I want to appreciate myself to everybody that tunes in via Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, right, too? We're on Twitter? I think we are on Twitter. Last time we had the mothers in here, some of the people you live with, and we drew over 2,100 views. So that's a big accomplishment from where we started over a year ago. We were 300 or 400. We thought that was great, but it just tells you how this whole program's moving forward. And down the road, you just don't know what's going to happen here, but I think it's all good. We've corrected a lot of things that we saw that we needed to last year by helping you guys with tutors and more study halls. Again, I know that some of you viewers that have listened to us or in the past, we have pretty much told you that these young men are constantly either at school or hockey. I mean, it starts Wednesday and Friday. It starts at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you run through probably 4 or 5 o'clock at night, and then you got homework, and you know, and the days you're not up that early, you're going to school in the study hall or whatever prior to school. Then you come over to the rink around 3 o'clock, and you probably don't get out of there sometimes 5:30, 6 o'clock by doing your ice time and your dry land. So you're making faces at us?
Yeah.
Way to go, Tobe.
I'm not.
Anyhow, so it's come a long way, and I think we've brought this program better thanks to the coaching staff, thanks to St. Mary's. We've learned a lot of stuff, and we do more study halls, I believe, on the road than we did last year. So tell me, I'm not going to talk to you about this, Itay, because you were here last year, but you two guys, we're traveling to the south. We'll be doing that in the morning. I say we, you guys will, I will not. But how is that different? You've been to Minnesota once this year?
Yes.
So both of you chime in, and how is that experience? I mean, these guys did it blind last year. We have several young men back from last year, but that was all brand new to them. I mean, and they've gotten better over the years. The first time it was kind of like they were on vacation, but it's not a vacation. You guys are going there to do something. So go ahead and tell us. You can start, Sean.
Well, it's a lot different. Last year with the Colts, I think the farthest I went was, the farthest I went was probably San Jose.
But with the Colts now, they do travel, but your parents usually travel with you. This is you're solo pretty much. Maybe your parents go. I don't know that, but so you guys are going. You're in the hands of two coaches and somebody's mother.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, traveling on longer drives, longer trips without your parents, especially like the out of state ones, it's a lot different than the Colts, and I like it because we get new competition, but it's definitely, and especially with before Thanksgiving weekend, we traveled 4 weeks straight every weekend, so it gets tiring at times.
Yeah. Now think if you're an NHL player. Of course, they're traveling a little bit different than you guys, but they're going all the time. I mean, the different time the changes and that type of thing. How's it been for you, AJ?
It's been going well. Like Sean said, prior to Thanksgiving, those 4 weeks were starting to get pretty tough. Like in the last stretch, the body was starting to need a break. You could feel kind of like trying to fight like being sick and like the physical like pains, but I think harder than that was school, like
keeping up with the school, all the work,
keeping you have to communicate with your teachers, you have to stay on top, even if you have late nights, you have to continue just so you can keep your grades up. So
and let me ask you this: some of the old fellows, the guys who were here last year, have they kind of helped you, like say, man, you can't slough that off and think you got time to do it because literally you don't have time? Have you guys been a help to them, Itay, or somebody reached out to you and said, hey man, I'm lost or whatever?
To me?
Well,
no.
to anybody that you know.
I haven't seen that happen a lot, to be honest.
So but there's people here to support you guys, right?
Yeah.
And
myself, Coach, Mrs. Petroni, Adam. We're all here to help, but the worst thing I guess I can say is that you feel like, man, I don't want to say anything, and I'm going to try to figure this out. But it's okay that you at least ask the question. At least they may be able to point you in the right direction or give you some help, because it's not. I think what happened last year is a lot of kids felt that way, and they just let the grades go, and then it was like, oh my goodness, now I got to try to figure out how to get them back. So it's always good. We've talked a lot. I was in a meeting with you guys about being a team, not just because you wear the same uniforms, but it's a brotherhood, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys played around here, so you play with guys that are on other teams, and then you see them again, and so it's a whole community. And we're all here for the same thing, for you guys to progress in your hockey career, plus have an education. So it's a great time for you guys. You're young. I couldn't do it at my age. I mean, I'm too old, first of all. But you have to apply yourself, and you have to reach out if you're having struggles, because it's a real thing. I mean, Toby, you don't have a live mic, do you?
No, mine's
Come over here.
Yeah, get over here, too.
Toby Bell, he's going to slide in here with me. Toby is one of our goaltenders, and the young man comes from Buffalo. And we've talked about this in prior shows, but man, your parents aren't in California. They are a phone call away, but Toby had to figure out some stuff. And if you can just go through, you don't have to go into detail, but kind of what happened with you, and so that other people can understand what's going on in a young man's life.
Oh, well, I kind of came in with like a bad attitude that it was going to be easy and I was only going to do 1 year. And then when I got here, obviously, my whole plan was to come in and leave a year later. And so then as soon as I got here, I wanted to leave. And then so I went home. I realized I need to do this. I need to come back. So then I came back. I thought, all right, I'm in this now. I might as well make the best of it. And now I'm definitely going to come back next year. And I mean, it started as just trying to get in and get out, and now I'm disappointed I only get 1 more year of it. So it turned around fast for me. I just had to get my mental state right.
Yeah, I think it was me. You came back because of me.
Oh yeah, and for Rick.
No, it's good because, put yourself, I mean, like I put myself back when I was 15, and oh boy, it's kind of blurry because it's a long time ago, but you guys are really something, man. You're giving up. Anthony reminds me, I'm still a teenager. I get it, but you guys are like way ahead of the curve, and so I commend you for that because it's a big undertaking that you guys are doing, And we have fun on the team, and we razz everybody and have that type of good camaraderie. But I commend you guys because it's tough to do something that you're not used to doing, But it's good for you because this is going to get you ready if your ambition. And that's a good question. Where do you want to go at the end of St. Mary's? Itay.
I honestly have no clue what I'm going to do after St. Mary's.
No college, no juniors, no.
We'll see, because the problem right now is the military in Israel, the army.
Well, become an American citizen, and we can tell them to Shanghai. You can't do that, though, huh?
No, I cannot.
No, I'm teasing you. No, you got to do the right things. Yeah, it's
we'll
tough.
see. If they give me, there is something that they give certain people if you're good enough at the sport, so you can just basically not be in Israel, and once in a while they will want you to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get that, maybe I can play college hockey. We'll see.
Can you... we're going to go off track here a little bit, but it's good off track. See, we don't understand in this country we do understand it, but what is your obligation to Israel as far as being in the military? What, not just you, but every young man at your age?
I haven't really thought about that. I mean, the military, what I'm planning to do there.
No, but what are you demanded to do, or you have to do, I guess is what I'm asking.
You have to serve all your years, and that's actually the only thing I know. I don't know a lot about the military.
But when you say your years, how many?
I'm not sure. I think it's between 2.5 years to 3 years.
That you have to be in the military.
Yes.
So you guys are lucky. You talk about the military. I'm going to give you a quick synopsis. I would have went in during the Vietnam War. You guys have heard about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It wasn't that long ago. Anyhow, and I was draftable. Toby, what are we doing? You're distracting me.
Itay's responses make me laugh.
Anyhow, but I was fortunate enough that they had a lottery draft, so everybody's birthday from January 1 all the way till December 31. Each day had a number, and they put it in like a bingo ball thing, and they shot them out. Well, my number was 320 or something. They only took like 250 birthdays, the first 250. So I was fortunate enough not to go into a bad war, but that's how our country does it. Now it's all volunteer. You have to, I don't even know if you have to sign up for the draft anymore. That's a good question, but that's for another show. Let's get back on track here. What is your ambitions
For hockey, well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm planning at this point to spend the rest of my high school years at St. Mary's, and if depending on my progress throughout St. Mary's and like my development, hopefully go to a juniors team of some type, and then possibly go on to college from there.
Yeah. What about you, AJ?
Like Sean said, so I plan to spend all 4 years here, and I hope that at the end I can go play juniors and then hopefully play college hockey.
Yeah, we had one senior last year went to play juniors, Alex Gano. He was a defenseman for us. He graduated, so he went back east, and he was doing well back there. In fact, California Rubber Magazine, you can look online, but anyhow, they did a whole article on him, how he's playing for a team back in, I want to say Adirondack, but I could be wrong, in New York. That's correct.
Yes.
And he had an accident over the Thanksgiving holiday. He was riding a bike in New York and fell out off the bike somehow. I don't know how it happened, and he broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
But I understand through Jack Hansen that he's making his way back here to California, and hopefully he'll come around the team. But
I heard he's already here.
no, he
Yeah.
is here. Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm sure we'll see Alex out there at some point. Not playing, obviously, because he can't. But being around the team will be good to have somebody that's been 2 juniors, and he's really only a couple years older than you guys. So that's all good. So let's get on with talking about this coming weekend. This coming weekend, we play 3 games in Anaheim area. So, do you know who we play?
I'm pretty sure it's J. Sarah,
Orange Lutheran.
and I think Pacific Ridge.
Right. Now, we played Pacific Ridge down there the first part of the year, and I believe we beat them.
Yes.
Okay, so you know they're hunting. They don't want to go down twice to you guys.
Yeah.
Now, Orange Lutheran is in first place. They're
Yes.
undefeated.
We've also played them earlier in the
No.
year.
No, we haven't.
We haven't.
No, you have
No,
not.
we
No,
haven't.
they're,
No, we haven't.
they're 7-0.
Oh, okay.
They're 7-0. They haven't lost.
We did play J. Sarah though.
Yes, you
earlier
did.
this year.
Very good, Sean. This is very good. Sean
I
is
really
our
thought
answer.
we played Orange Lutheran,
Anyhow,
Except Sean.
we got a big task in front of us. I mean, we're sitting pretty good in the league, but we need to take at least 2 out of 3, I would think, to keep going. We certainly don't want to lose 3
Oh, yeah.
down there. My goaltender friend, Mr. Toby Bell, on the ride over to the station today, he was telling me, I got to get my head right, and I got to go out, and he's got to. I'm not going to give up his mental state for these games, but he's got it figured out to where how he's going to play, and he's hoping to shut out a few teams. Whether that happens or not is not always on the goaltender, as you guys well know. It's how well his defensive guys play in front of him, and the rest of the team plays defense. So,
Don't look at me like that.
what are you thinking? You're going to go down and play 3 teams.
I think the hardest game is going to be, without a doubt, Orange Lutheran.
Mm-hmm.
Pacific Ridge isn't bad either.
Oh, they're
Pacific
Jay
Ridge.
Sarah's put up 8 goals on a few teams.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toby. So J. Sarah, I think every team is going to be really hard to play against. I just think our biggest challenge is going to be Orange Lutheran, and our second and third game, because we usually have problems with the games after the first one.
Right. And why do you think that is?
I feel like every time we win a first game of the weekend, we just feel a lot more,
Like we get comfortable.
too like a lot too comfortable. So I think that's what brings us down.
And I know Coach wouldn't want me to bring this up, but I'm going to anyhow, so he can yell at me tomorrow if he wants. But I think, in my opinion, you're going to go down like tomorrow. You play tomorrow night, and then you're back on the ice 11 o'clock or thereabouts Saturday, and then you play again at 6 or 7 o'clock that same night.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel as a player the first game, I get it. That should be an okay game. Morning game should be okay because you got a night's sleep. But then you're doing study hall from after the game. You eat, and then you're going to do some study hall, and then you're going to go right back to the rink and play. How do you feel as a player when you go out for that third game? You guys, you're all different. So, do you feel tired, or do you feel like after the first period or second period that your legs are just like, oh man,
I don't really think about that stuff usually.
Do you feel it?
No, I actually don't feel anything. No.
What about you?
I even if I'm tired, sometimes if we've had hard games, the hard first or second games of the weekend, and I know it's going to be a struggle in the third game to win it. I just try to go in with the mentality that we need to push through this and get through it, and we need to think about all the stuff that coach has been telling us and put it into action.
What about you, AJ?
Like Sean said, I just try to or like what Itay said, I just try not to think about it.
Right, but I get that you don't think about it, but do you feel your legs like screaming?
Yeah.
Because you guys are out there working. I mean, this isn't. I was telling this to Toby on the way over again that this isn't like. And please understand, I'm not putting. What I'm going to say, I'm not putting these divisions down, but squirt and pee-wee, and you're playing club hockey. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great thing, but this is a different level, and the levels keep getting harder, and the competition keeps getting better. So that means you got to perform better. You got to perform faster. You can't have hiccups in your game. So that mentally challenging, plus the physical thing. I mean, I know Coach has been working a lot of board play this last week and a half or so that you've been back. What to do with the puck? How is that? Is that when you're practicing all these things that coaches are telling you, and you're going through these drills? Do you relate those to a game, like game situations, or do you just say, "Okay, I got to do this drill. I'm doing it, and I'm doing it good because I'm not getting." The coach ain't saying, "Hey, come on, you got to do this or do that." But do you put yourself in a game situation where you're doing that? I know you're practicing against your own teammates, but do you put your mindset that this is a game, and when this happens, this is what I'm going to do?
Of course, I try to put practice habits into the game, but the thing is, I can't always do that. So it always depends on what play is the best play.
What you can do there?
Yeah, so it's not always I have to do what we worked on in practice 2 days ago. If I can make a better play out of it, I'm gonna make a better play.
What about you?
I'm kind of similar to Itay. I take everything they tell me, and sometimes they'll pull you aside, and they can probably attest to this, and they'll even if you did the drill right and everything, the coaches will give you a little extra tip on how to make it even better. And I try all the time to implement the drills and the new knowledge that they give us into the game, but the game isn't perfect, so it's not a perfect game, so it's hard, but I try to.
Yeah. What about you, AJ?
Yeah, about the same, like with these two. I'll whatever they tell me, I'll try to apply it in my game, and usually I'm able to. It's a matter of just having the right mindset, trying to remember what you need to do. But of course, what Sean said, it's not a perfect game, so there are going to be times where we're going to have to improvise and
right. And what you do with the game, and I see. And again, I didn't play the game, but I've watched a lot of hockey, and I've learned a lot just by watching you guys and learning the drills that you guys do. And this is my second year. I followed the drills with Anthony and the Colts, but I see what he's trying to do. I think sometimes, of course, again, I'm not out there, so but from watching it, we forced the puck up the wall sometimes when you have a guy standing 5 or 6 feet in the middle of the ice, and we, for some reason, and I realize you're getting sticks jammed at you and your feet are down there, but somebody who's not in that bunch needs to get the puck kicked out so they can kick it out to the open guy. I think we could do a little bit better job there. Other than that, I think we got the speed. We got smart hockey players. You guys are well disciplined for the most part. I know we've had a couple of incidents, but it's just the way hockey is. I mean, let's face it, it's competitive out there, and everybody wants to be the man. But it takes a team. One person cannot win a game. Hang on, guys. I got to get this in. Because we're now FM, we have to get this in about every 20 minutes. So you're listening to TVOSJ, the Voice of San Joaquin Radio, 89.5 FM, KBCC Tracy. We're a local nonprofit multimedia community broadcasting network. We got that in. That should be our last one this time, Tobe, I think. But anyhow, we can do it one more time. One more time, Toby's telling me. He's my director and producer, so even though he's younger than I am. But anyhow, that's another story. Okay, so when you guys get back next weekend, you don't have hockey. The 14th and 15th, but guess what we're doing on Saturday?
Pancake breakfast.
That's right. AJ Escalante said right on the head at, I believe it's 7 to noon, I want to say. I'll get the exact times for you, but come out and be with the players and have a little pancake breakfast. All the money goes to the hockey team, so that we can continue this program and build it even better than it is. So come out on the 14th at St. Mary's. I believe we're doing it in the cafeteria.
Yes.
So
yes.
come out. They'll sign autograph pictures. Take pictures with you. These guys might make it someday. You might say, oh, we remember Itay Bondar when he played for the St. Mary's Rams.
You wouldn't want to get a picture with this pretty face.
Really?
Oh, really?
That's what Toby just said. Who wouldn't want to get a picture with this pretty face? And of course,
Me?
He hasn't seen a mirror in a while. But anyhow, that's the here and there. We also have the $5,000 raffle dinner that we did last year is going to be on January 11th. So we have the tickets now, and we'll be selling those. So get out. That was a great time. We auctioned off a jet ride last year. Remember that, Itay?
Jet ride?
Never mind. Itay.
No clue.
I go to him. I get this. You're a step above Max right now.
I told you last year was confusing.
I know it was, buddy. I'm just having fun. These guys are good to have fun with. His partner, I shouldn't say partner, but his fellow Israeli will be on the show at some point. Sar, Medvedovsky, Missouri.
You've known him for over a year.
Sar's good enough for me. But anyhow, he'll be on the show with Victor. Victor told me tonight he hasn't been on the show, and I thought he was. So, of course, he's one of those guys that you like to forget. So that's probably what happened. Anyhow, getting back to hockey. Now, talk to me about this bus trip. Wasn't the last time we went down, maybe the second last time, when there was a fire going on down there.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That was the first time.
That was
the first time we went.
12-hour bus ride, man. How were you guys on that?
It was not as hard as I thought it would be. It did feel like 12 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
because I didn't fall asleep, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably not. It's the daytime. I mean, you left at 7 in the morning and arrived in Irvine at 7 at night.
Okay, so
We're having
it was fine. It was totally fine.
My
Go ahead.
my bus ride was it wasn't too bad because I stayed up a little late the night before, so I slept for like the first 6 hours of the trip.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I just went to sleep for the first about half of the trip, and
Then
so
you woke up in a parking lot.
Yeah, no, I woke up about halfway through, and the remainder of the trip wasn't that bad, especially when you have like your teammates and your friends surrounding you. So it was pretty good.
What about you? How was it?
So I slept pretty off and on. It was, and luckily I had like movies downloaded, like.
Oh,
music.
that's right. That's what you guys do. You watch
Yeah.
Netflix
Or,
or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it wasn't that bad because like there are people like there were like we had teammates in the car, so like we like talked and all that.
Yeah.
So it made it made the bus drive feel like not like super long, but
But
it
your
wa-
legs had to be spongy.
but
when
yeah,
you-
it was rough when we
Yeah.
had to get off the
and
bus
you played
play.
Santa Margarita that night
Santa
too.
Margarita.
Yeah, I mean your legs were rubbery.
Yeah, you can tell by the score.
Nah,
Oh gosh.
we had that talk coming over, Toby and I, about when the wheels come off and the team seems to be can't do anything wrong and we do everything wrong, but you got to let it go. I mean, even that Bellarmine game here, a lot of guys took that pretty hard, and I understand part of it, but the shootout guys took it bad, and it's like, but it's not just them. I mean, yeah, they were the final. It's just like being a goaltender. I mean, he's the final line of defense. So I wouldn't want to be a goaltender's parent. I mean, oh, he's terrible. He's this. He's that.
Yeah.
But it's a whole team thing, man. You got to think about the first period, how many bad plays you had, or what you could have done different. I mean, it goes through the whole game. But I think that was a big learning curve for this team. We had a nice meeting after that about picking up teammates and I don't think that'll happen to you again. It could, but I don't believe so. I mean, you get up 5-1 on a team. I don't think you're gonna get it back 5-2, 5-3 maybe. But at some point, you guys got to say, hey guys, let's go back to basics. You guys owned them in the first period, and then they started coming, and then it was like everybody tried to do more than they should, right? I mean,
yeah.
because man, I can't. You just got to back down. You got to get all you guys. Even the captains should be leading this and saying, "Hey, come on, man, let's get back to St. Mary's hockey. The things that have made us successful, because it's the little things." And then once the mo starts, and they start chirping, and then we're like overreacting or whatever it is. It happens. It happens in the pro level. So. It's a good thing to go through all this stuff. You're not going to win every game. Nobody expects you to. Be nice, but in reality, that's not it. And so, winning and losing. Winning's fun, and losing isn't losing. It's learning, right? You figure out what you guys did wrong, and then you improve on it, and you go again. And same thing. We taking stupid. Excuse me. Taking stupid penalties, or you should never take a penalty in your offensive zone, but that happens. So you just got to, it's just like him getting a goal scored on him. He's got to say, okay, man, I can't do it. It's in the net. It's over with. And it's easy to say, but it's hard to do. And the same thing with you guys. When you mishandle a puck, or you make the wrong pass, or whatever it might be, you got to let it go. You got to say, okay, next time it comes to me, I'm going to do this. And like I've said on the show many times, this is a game like no other. You can name football, you can name baseball, you can name basketball. Basketball a little bit, but you guys have to balance yourself on skates. Number one, foremost, you have to be a good skater. Then you got to catch pucks, pass pucks, know what to do with the pucks. Where in baseball, you have a coach in between pitches. Hey, if it comes to third, we're going to 2, we're going 1, whatever, right? So you're already told what to do before it happens. If it comes to you, you know what the coach wants you to do. You're trained to do things in this game, but he can't tell you every time he touches the puck what to do. So that's a lot. Excuse me. That's a lot to process, man. And we're talking seconds. We're not talking like, I got the puck. Okay, should I go over down there board, or should I go in the middle? You don't have that type of time. You guys got guys trying to get the puck from you. So that has got to be faster decision making than you've ever had before, right, Itay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how about you, Sean?
Especially when there's a like a senior coming at you, and if you don't get rid of the puck, you're gonna get put into the wall.
Yeah.
So that it's scary sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, and the more you play, and you realize even if you get hit, it's not going to hurt.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say it doesn't hurt, but you know what I mean.
It's just a little stinger.
Yeah, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Don't let the Bobby.
Yeah. Well, everybody's gotten blown up. at least one time in their
Yeah.
hockey
Oh,
career.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and I think for the most part, I've watched a lot of games. I don't think these teams are intentionally trying to smash people. It's more of a speed game and finesse game than it ever has been.
Yeah.
If you're a hack out there and that's all you're going to do is go out there and rough somebody up, those guys are pretty much done. I mean,
Yeah.
there are guys that are physical, and it's okay to be a little physical, but they've changed the rules this year so much that you're going to get more penalties by playing that way.
It's going to do more detriment than good. To the
Exactly. And last year it was open ice hits. I mean, just full out. A guy skating his head down, you go put a shoulder into his chest, it's okay. This year it's not so much that. You have to try to play the puck before you make contact with them. And so we've seen that. And so I think as a player you have to think that you're not going to get hit, even if you're not going to get hit that hard, and if you do, they're probably going to draw a penalty. So then you go on the power play, and off we go. So the toughest thing is when you get scored on shorthanded. That's got to be the worst, right, Tobe? Yeah, he's shaking his head over there. I mean, that's the most insulting thing you can do to a team is score on them when they have the man advantage. So. I think that we're heading in the right direction. I think you guys are a great part of this team. Give me any funny anecdote. You got anything? Locker room?
Stories.
Locker room stories.
Yeah, that you can
Any
say on
funny
the air.
stories?
Remember, you're on the air.
Oh my God, there's a lot. I can't think of one right now.
Something-
Go to Sean.
some-
Go to-
something
Oh,
that's-
I
something
have
that's
Go to
one,
Sean.
but I don't
Tony
know
B.
if it's
Something that's appropriate for
the
the.
van one. Toby, is that
And
before after practice in the morning? Remember?
Well, that's.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we can't disclose. We can't disclose that. We can't disclose
Think
that.
about something
story,
different.
But,
Think about something different.
It's
What
hard.
about-
are you
Well-
crazy?
What about you, AJ?
Do
What's funny happened to you that you thought it was a joke played on you, or?
you think I can tell at the time when Max and Star went over and like the ice bucket?
Oh yeah, that was more at home, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it was more at
yeah.
home.
Okay, but
Okay,
what
well,
happened?
it was like, okay, so I forget. It was after that morning
Yeah.
practice that we didn't have.
It was on a day where we had, no school. I don't think, and Mac and AJ, Dom, and I lived at the same house, and then Max and Sar came over, and you can.
Okay, they're all in the living room. I was going to take a shower, and then Sean said like, "Can you keep the door unlocked? Because I need to get something." I'm like, "Okay." I didn't think anything was going to come from that, so I'm about to get out of the shower when I just see everyone barge into the room and Sarah has an ice bucket and then pours the ice bucket over the shower onto me.
Oh my goodness!
It was pretty funny,
But that's the kind of stuff that's not harmful. and
Yeah.
it's-
No, I mean,
How did you take it? Were you upset at first? Or?
he was a little
I
upset.
was a
Talk to him in Spanish. That's all I want to know. Did you say it? No.
I can't even speak Spanish.
Oh,
No, but I was like, it was one of those things where like you're a little upset like right when it happens, and after like you think it's
Yeah,
like one of
'cause
the
you're-
funniest things that's happened to
Yeah,
you.
and of course every day there's banter in the locker room. There's jokes being made all the time in the locker room.
nobody is above that, right?
No
No,
one's
and
above that.
Fair
Everybody-
game, everybody.
Yeah, everybody's
But
fair
that's
game.
good. That builds team chemistry. Go ahead.
And I think I was about to say I think that's like one of like the things that like I like really like puts our team together is that like all of us kind of like treat each other the same way. Like no one like treats someone's like no one's like really like above someone else in the sense where it's like everyone can like crack a joke at someone.
Yeah.
Like no one's like beyond that.
That's good, and it's fun, and it brings the team together. I think. I know we do it at my work. There's nobody untouchable. We all have. We're like a team, sports team, because some of us have been there. I've been there 37 years, and there's guys that have been not there that long, but we fit in everybody, and it makes it a fun place to go because you don't know what's going to happen. You got to keep on your toes, man, because you never know. Again, I think we're pretty close to the end, Toby.
Probably like 5 minutes before.
5 minutes. We got the 5 minute marker. Okay, so what's your goal for this weekend? I'll go to Mcgurty.
Okay.
While you're choking.
Well, my goal for this weekend is it's to obviously I hope as a team we go 3-0 this weekend. I hope we win all of our games. I think it's possible. Like Itay said earlier, Orange Lutheran is going to be a difficult game, but I think it's possible to go 3-0 this weekend. Personally, I hope to at least score 1 goal this weekend and get 1 assist, but we'll see what happens. And yeah.
All you can do is play hard, man,
Yeah.
and then let the chips fall where they may. Mr. Escalante.
I think for like a team goal, I hope that we can get up like at least 1 point each game, and whether that be in overtime win or something like that. Personally, I just want to play hard. I want to be able to play my position well, and then whatever happens from there happens.
Yeah, right. That's all you can do. And I think if you make the game simple, Itay, what's your goal this week? Because you're
So of course it's going 3-0.
Yeah.
I want to win every single game.
but a
and
personal
get
goal.
a personal. I'd say get it over a point per game.
Yeah.
But it's more helping the team. It's not the points.
It is. It isn't the points. I know everybody wants to get points. I get it. It's tough. Like the defenseman who's sitting next to me, you can't get points. I mean, you got to take shots on the net and hope there's a rebound or actually get it in. But for forward and the centers and that type of thing, it's a little bit easier. I shouldn't say easier. It's more apt to happen for you guys than not. Tobias, come over here and tell me what your goal is this weekend.
3-0. That's it.
No, your personal goal.
Just stay competitive in net, and stay mentally strong, and just win. That's all I want to do this weekend is just win.
Attaboy. So tomorrow, you guys got to be at the school by 7 o'clock.
Yep.
And then you head out down to Irvine, Anaheim area at 7:15. I believe you're stopping in Santa Clarita,
Yes.
Magic Mountain area there for a little lunch, and then the rest of the way down. I think for the folks that are up here that really want to watch hockey, it's called Black Dog TV. They do a great job down there. They televise the games. They have commentary about them. It's kind of neat to watch these kids play. I say kids, young men play. And they do a pretty good job of the television. I mean, there's other ones out there that are, to me, is not as good because these broadcasters do a little bit of homework on each team, and they talk about the team and the coaching staff and what they actually watch the game. I mean, it's like listening to a pro game. They do a great job. So San Jose has it's called Live Barn. There is no commentary, but there is video of the game. So you really, as you're watching it, it's okay to follow, but you have to figure out what penalties are and that type of thing. Speaking of penalties, how many penalties do you have this year?
I don't think I have. I know I have one against Tahoe, but I think it was preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
how many do you have?
I have one. It was against Jay Serra or Pacific Ridge, but I'm happy to say that I've drawn way more penalties than I've caused.
Yeah.
So.
And what about you?
I think
You haven't been in the box at all, I don't think.
No, I've been in the box like maybe twice. But like Sean, I'm happy to say I've drawn more than I've caused.
Yeah. Your captain, Mr. Petroni, every time he comes in the box and I'm in the box, it's never a penalty. Luca, if you're listening to me, they're not always wrong. You might be causing some of these penalties. But anyhow, it's a fun time. We chat a little bit in the box and, try to get them through it, because the only way that you can get through it is your team has to come up big. And then what's the best way if you come out of the box to answer your penalty?
For me, it's give it my all. Don't get any more penalties that game. Try to do anything you can to make up for it, but don't think about it too much. Just try to.
What about you?
After after if I get a penalty, I just try to make sure my next shift is like one of the best ones of the game.
And that's another thing, compartmentalizing the game. Could you guys do that? It's hard. In other words, you're out there and they score. The other team scores. Now I know nobody likes that. So you're coming to the bench, another group's going on, and you're sitting there and you're upset. Can you, when you go back on that ice, can you forget about that goal and say, okay, now I got to win this shift? This shift, we get down to working shifts to where you say, I got to be the best I can on this shift. Even if I'm only out there 30 seconds or 45 seconds or whatever it is, I got to be at my best. You can't worry about somebody hanging out to dry on the shift before. You got to. I know it's easy to talk about it, but how hard is it for you guys to do that?
I actually don't really think about the score. I never really know what the score is.
That's good.
For example, between periods when coach is talking to us, I never actually look at the scoreboard or just know what the score is. All I do is just go out there and do whatever I got to do to win the game.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, I think our team in the past, like with the last time we played Bellarmine, I think we've had some struggles getting our heads back up after a goal, but I think that game, we learned a lot from that game. Our team learned a lot. It was a good learning experience, and I think we're going to be able to bounce back from it much better now that we've learned.
I think
from
you're
that.
right. I believe that. What about you?
I try to keep my head focused, but there are times where like if I know it's my fault or something like that, like it'll be a little bit hard. But that's where like the whole like team aspect comes, because there'll be players or teammates that will try to like pick me up.
Yeah, just go. Hey, come on, shake it off. Let's go. We got more game to play, right? I think that's a positive thing. And if you really think about it, that Bellarmine game, they went ahead of you guys. I know Itay didn't look at the score, but they were up 6-5. And you guys scored with right around a minute or so to go in that game to tie it.
Mm-hmm.
That means you didn't give up, man.
Yeah.
That means you were still out there hustling. You could have just walked that game in and said, okay, the time's going to run out and we're going to lose, and too bad for us. But you guys have battled back. Even last year, on the short bench, you guys battled and battled and battled, and you never gave up. And I think that's the key. You guys on the bench, when things aren't going well for us, we got to say, a lot of game left here, man. Forget about the score. Let's go out there and do St. Mary's hockey. And I think you can see that with you guys, you know what I mean? And like I said, we have a lot of young men. We're going to lose 4 of them this year. And I know we got like 8 or 9 kids coming to visit the campus this year, which is good. So we're going to lose Jack Hansen's a senior, Ethan Saldana is a senior, Sean Keogh is a senior, and Maximizer Clark is also a senior. Hopefully they'll go on in hockey and do some good things. But right now we got to focus on what we have in hand, which is this weekend in the Anaheim Duck League. You guys are actually tied for second in points with 3 other teams at 18, and Orange Lutheran has 20 points. So you're in the thick of things, guys. Last year we weren't. We almost made the playoffs last year, but it was a struggle. We were coming from the wrong end. So this year I think we're out ahead of the curve. I think teams are going to start really focusing on you guys, because last year it was like, okay, that's in their minds, that was a win, that was a win, that was a win. And we surprised some teams last year, but this year we're more organized, we're more together as a unit. And you guys have, I tip my hat to this team, because even though last team, the first team, now you're the second team, and you guys that you're a sophomore, right? You're all sophomores?
No, I'm a freshman.
You're you youngster. Anyhow, you guys are sophomores. By the time you get to seniors and you guys have all played together, look out. The whole world better start watching out for St. Mary's hockey, because I think you guys are going to be in the thick of a lot of talk, and hopefully that helps propel your careers in hockey. So I'm looking over there, and I'm getting the
What are like 2 minutes?
we're down to 2 minutes. Okay. So, any final thoughts? Anything you want to shout out to people that are watching this?
No, not
We gotta
that.
shout out AJ's mom, team manager.
We-
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Mrs.
Mrs.
Escalante.
Escalante.
For giving
Shout out
us,
Mrs.
for giving us
Mama
more,
AJ.
Chick-fil-A on the right up there tomorrow, I believe.
Best team manager.
for giving us more than pizza and salad.
Yes.
Yeah. Love you, Mom.
Yeah, so that's something we should have talked about, and I missed it, but we got a minute or so. Ginger Escalante Tambora. She's got 13 names.
Yeah.
I wonder who she's hiding from. But anyhow, Ginger, we know you tuned in tonight. She has been a wonderful team mom this year. She takes care of all these boys, the travel stuff. I know my wife helps out with your air stuff when you just go back, but your mom's there. She supports this team. I think she's been a good influence on your kids, and she's all been good with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she loves her dog more than you, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
She
We
actually-
all, huh?
She sent a picture of it in a sweater today.
Oh,
didn't
did
she?
Yeah,
It's a
so-
good- it's a good dog.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a great dog. But Ginger, we all appreciate everything that you do for this club. I know you're going to be around for a few years because the kids, you got 3 more years in front of you anyhow. But we appreciate everything you do. Again, I just want to hit on a couple things. Pancake breakfast will be a week from this Saturday. St. Mary's, I believe, is 7 to noon. Come out and be part of this thing because you guys are going to be at the base of this thing because this thing's going to be a mountain. By 5 years in, we're going to look back and say, holy buckets, Coach, where have we come? And you guys are living proof that it's working. You guys sitting in here, I appreciate you taking your time because you got a lot of stuff to do. And we appreciate all your comments. You guys are good guys. Just keep it up, man. Make us proud. Make yourselves proud. More make yourselves proud because then it makes everybody proud, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So without any further ado, our next show will be on the 19th. I'm instigating my old co-host, Mr. Zach, to come back out and do a show with us. So he says he's going to possibly do that. It'll be fun. So tune in on the 19th at 6 o'clock. So without any further ado, my sign-off is keep your skates on the ice and reach for the stars. Good night, everybody.